let's get rid of Windows Home and let's get some Windows Pro. Copy and paste my code from the description. New codes, new discount. You can get Windows Professional, Office. Paste my code. Boom! It's Windows Pro time. Isn't it great when you get a device, you use a device that is fit for purpose? It does what it says on the tin, and it just doesn't try to pretend to be anything else other than what it is. And this Gigabyte Sabre, it does what it says on the box. It's a gaming laptop and it games well. And I can tell you now, there's not many gaming laptops at this price point that give a gamer everything they want. Not many at this price point come with a 120Hz display, and it is a 17-inch 120Hz display, so it is great for gaming. It is just made for gaming, has everything you want. GTX 1060, i7 8750H, pretty much every gaming laptop has these processors, 6 cores, up to 32 gigs RAM, RGB keyboard, full-size keyboard as well, with nice 2mm travel, so it does feel nice. There's a little bit of flex in that keyboard, but it's pretty good. It has all the storage options you want. It has M.2 SSD, and it also has a 2.5-inch drive bay for hard drives or SATA SSDs. It has pretty much every port you want other than Thunderbolt 3, but it does have USB-C. At the price point this is, you get a lot of bang for buck. I mean, if you're asking me in a gaming laptop, what would I rather have, Thunderbolt 3 or 120Hz display? I'm taking a 120Hz display, because the reality is I'm not really going to be hooking this up to an eGPU anytime soon. It's got a GTX 1060, which is really great for gaming at 1080p. So, it has multiple USB 3.1s, USB 2.0s, USB-C, Ethernet, even an SD card reader, 2 display ports, mini display ports they are as well, and one of them is connected to the GPU, so you have to use that one, HDMI, and audio in and audio out jacks, which every gaming laptop should have, but a lot of gaming laptops don't have that anymore. So this laptop here is focused on gaming, and it games well. You will see the gaming review at the end of this review. I'll tag it on at the end. But what do you expect with these specs? There is no real thermal issues with this. There is a little bit of thermal management with a little bit of power limit throttling and some CPU throttling, but it's very minimal, so you pretty much get the most out of these parts. And I'll let you in a little secret. I'm having issues with my desktop, headache, Threadripper. Why did I do it? It's probably the ASRock board, to be honest. But anyway, getting back to this, because my desktop's been playing up, I've been gaming on this, no joke, and I get the gaming performance I want. I had that high refresh rate display, which is really good at this price point, I must say, and it gives me the performance I want. Big 17-inch display, that's why I'm using this. I can use other laptops, but I like using this. And because it has that audio in and audio out, I can use the headset I want to use rather than going and getting one of my USB ones. Now, when it comes to the design and build quality of it, it's a plastic build. It's not a premium product, but it's very robust. There is that little bit of flex in the keyboard there, but you'll be surprised how strong these plastic builds are, because they take a lot more shock than, say, the metal builds of laptops. But I think at this price point, there's definitely nothing to complain about. And I would say that matte black finish on it, when you clean it up, because it is a fingerprint magnet, but when you clean it up and you get it in the right lighting, it really is a beautiful finish on it. Now, it does come with this sort of unique removable battery, 6 cell 62 watt hour batteries. It's good for around 3-4 hours. It's enough to get you out of trouble and, to get some work done on the road. But it's a gaming laptop. They're not known for great battery life. And if you do game, you're only going to get a couple of hours max, if that. So I have to say, I highly recommend this laptop. I've been using it. It's hard to beat at this price point. There's not many laptops at this price point with a high refresh rate monitor, but it's definitely well worth considering. 17-inch, beautiful big display gaming experience with the super connected feeling of 120Hz. You want an affordable gaming laptop that does exactly what it's supposed to do, game? This is it. No nonsense, does the job. You will love it for gaming. So anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get on to the gaming review now. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Tally ho. Yes, look at that. 120Hz, baby. Woo! Righto, tally ho there, champs. Hope you're all doing well. Now let's have a look at this Gigabyte Sabre 17. Alright champs, let's get rid of Windows Home and let's get some Windows Pro. Copy and paste my code from the description. New codes, new discount. You can get Windows Professional, Office. Paste my code. Boom. It's Windows Pro time. Right, so if you are new around here, come on. sub up, get on the woo train, and if you want to help a champ out there, give me a thumbs up for the video. So if I was to tell you a gaming laptop with a big 120Hz display, GTX 1060, full GTX 1060 mind you, and a 6-core 8th generation i7-8750H processor, how much do you think that would be? Now the key point here is a 120Hz display, and I'm thinking with those sort of specs, you're going to be paying at least $3,000 here in Australia and around $2,000 in the US. But this thing here is actually really aggressively priced. I seen it here in Australia at $2,199, and I would expect that would be under $1,500 or $1,500 US. And there are laptops that are around that price point with GTX 1060s. Oh, some of them have max Qs, but you know, the same processor and pretty much the same GPU. But they all come with, 60Hz displays, and there isn't many that come with a 120Hz display. And that display on this is actually really good, especially at this price point. I mean, obviously to get to this price point, you have to make compromises. But this 7.3-inch display, although in the desktop might not look the greatest, it might look like it lacks a little bit of contrast when you game, it looks perfectly fine. It looks really nice. The gaming experience you get with 17-inch displays, and especially when they're 120Hz like this one. And I think this is what separates this from anything else around the price point, is that 120Hz display. So if you haven't heard about this one, definitely check it out, because you're going to have to spend a lot more money to get these sort of specs. So anyway, it's a gaming laptop. Let's see how it games, right? A few things to note here. It was friggin' hot. Like, it was nearly 40 degrees in Melbourne, so that's around over 100 degrees. Like inside, around 29 degrees when I was testing it. So the maximum torture test here. Single channel RAM, that's what it come with. That's how it gets tested. I do have RAM here I can put in it, but no, I'm not going to do it. Gigabyte, come on. If you're going to send out review units, make sure they're dual channel. Now, I done all this testing at medium because I want to get the maximum out of this display. Of course, you can crank up the settings to high and ultra, but yeah, you're only going to get around that 60 frames per second. If you want higher frame rates, you're going to have to go down to medium, take that little bit of a haircut, but it looks perfectly fine at medium. Don't worry about that. So obviously, if you have it at high settings, the temperatures will go up slightly, but remember, I'm testing in 29 degrees, so that probably offsets that. So it's probably the temps you're going to get at high or ultra. Now, when it comes to thermals, the thermals are actually really good on this. There is some management. There's some power limit throttling. It has a 180 watt power supply. Maybe if you put a bigger power supply, that would stop that. But there is some thermal management too. But that being said, it's very minimal thermal management. Yes, the temperature of the CPU will get up into the 90s when it's run stock, even when it's undervolted for that matter. Just the clocks go higher. That's only on the CPU side. GPU side, you're only going to get maximum just over 80. It will only throttle down to the low 3s, 3.3, 3.2, and that's in Battlefield. Other games, the clock would stay much higher at 3.6, 3.7, and the GPU was pretty much 1700, 1800. So you are getting quite a lot of performance out of this laptop. If you undervolt it, the clocks will shoot up to 3.9, which is its max, and you will get some games in frame rates there. Temperatures, sort of the same, but just the clocks go higher. And a lot of games it was maintaining 3.9, no problem whatsoever, depending on CPU usage, of course, with the undervolt, and even without the undervolt. Some of the games it could do 3.8, 3.9. And I'm willing to bet that if you had a cooler house, like, 20 degrees, 22 degrees, yeah, you'll be even getting more performance again. So let's get into the benchmarks, and you'll see in the brackets, UV is the undervolt frames, and all these games were at medium settings, 1080p. So DSX Mankind Divided, we had 66 frames per second. GTA 5, 82 frames per second. Battlefield 5, we had 72 frames per second. In PUBG, we had 63 frames per second, Witcher 3, 55 frames. Now that's the System Crusher, so that's pretty good. Fortnite, 76 frames per second. Black Ops Blackout, we had 67 frames per second, and to round it all off, in Overwatch, we had 108 frames per second. Now with the undervolts, some of the games I was getting 10 frames per second more, some were like virtually nothing, but a lot of these games were getting 70, 80, 90 frames per second, some 100. So that's where you're going to get the benefits of this display, getting that super connected feeling. And for me personally, it's just a much better gaming experience than a 60Hz display. So I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy with the performance, thermal management, very minimal, little bit of power limit throttling. The noise, it's a gaming laptop, they're all friggin' loud. This is no different. It doesn't get over hot externally, it doesn't get that hot, and the CPU, yeah, tickle into the 90s there, and then yeah, throttle down a little bit and sit in the 80s. So make sure you subscribe to see the full review. It is a really solid gaming machine. So I'd like to really thank you guys for watching, and until next time guys, tally ho.